Welcome along, everybody. We're back for ALR action, and it's well, it's a bit of an odd one, this one, but it's an official pre-season testing then for ALR. Then our first one of the season, and usually we don't do these, to be fair, but with a high demand then here in Bahrain tonight, then we're going to have a bit of a special show. Let's just put it that way then, as we get ourselves going then. And there we are then in the comment section. Of course, there's a new thing in the YouTube section as well then, where you can get XP then for comments, and then the more you comment, the better you are on the leaderboard, that sort of thing. So there we are then. Good stuff indeed. Then F125 says lights here. Then ALR says Equaz, and he's back in the comment section as well. Then we are going to do a short qualifying then and a 50% race around the Sakir International Circuit as well here tonight. So yeah, looking forward to this. Then of course it's a bit of a well, it's all not new to us, to be fair, this circuit, but this is all new to us in terms of what game it is. And there we are then. So yes. Oh dear, hang on. 1 second. What's going on here? I can hear myself twice. Right. Nope, it's not any better. Give me 2 seconds. Technical difficulties at the beginning of the season. Who would have thought it? But there we are then. Like I said, just getting ourselves loaded in then to start off the short qualifying. Hopefully we can get ourselves loaded in then, because we're sitting here waiting for somebody or other. And yeah, there we go. But in the meantime, let me sort out my technical difficulties there as well. There we are. We're in. Good stuff. And fingers crossed I can... yes. Hello. Yes, there we go then. Good stuff indeed then. I've sorted myself out, and we can crack on then. Good stuff. Welcome along then to the stream then. Fantastic stuff indeed then to have there's so many people interested in a pre-season test, but we will have a look then and see then, as we've got a variety then of drivers out on track. I think we will be out on track shortly, hopefully. We don't need that. We need the telemetry. We need all this. We need everything back up. I'm very unused to this, let's just put it that way, after so long out of the box. But we were back underway then, as yeah, most of the drivers then have jumped into their allocated cars as well. Then of course, if you haven't watched the driver draw, then you need to go back and watch that first then to make sure you know what car you're in. But there we go then, as Vessia then first out on track then in the Alpine machine, and looking good indeed as well there. So fantastic stuff indeed as well. Have we got the game audio? Yes, I think we do, just about. Good stuff indeed. So there we are then in Bahrain then for a bit of pre-season testing. Then the first round, well, not the first round, sorry, it's not the first round anymore, is it? It's going to be in Australia then in just over a week's time now. It's going to be the 22nd of June is the start then for gold then on Sunday for the Australian Grand Prix. Then of course silver the day after then on the 23rd on the Monday, and then bronze on the 24th then for Tuesday as well then. So starting off the season all down under in Melbourne as well then. And of course the 100% League has returned as well. Then that'll be kicking off then on Wednesday next, or the week after I should say, then not the first week then, not in the next coming weeks then. It'll be a week after the rest of the season has started as well then for the 3 main divisions then. So there we go, the good stuff indeed then. And a shout out as well then to Coop and Lucas Percy, of course, who are going to be the head admins then for the 100% League, bringing that back then for ALR as well. Then of course Kiki then is stepping into the seat then for the bronze admin, then Farfin into silver, and I'm sure, unfortunately for the gold drivers, then they're stuck with me as the gold admin as well. Then Luke then is going to be taking us through comms then on Wednesday nights then for the 100% League coming up soon. I'm going to be in the comms box for bronze again then, so very sorry to all the bronze drivers or all the listeners who watch bronze, because you're going to be hearing this quite a lot, unfortunately. Silver then and gold are going to be commentated by none other than the Ginger of Rages as well then, so fantastic stuff indeed. And I think we've got everyone in the session now as well, because I think someone's just joined as well. So 20 drivers then on the grid then for a pre-season test here in Bahrain then, looking good indeed then. We're watching Vessia then, because here's the first man out on circuit, I believe. So we're watching and going through the first couple of sectors then, but this is going to be a bit of a chit chat really, because we've got quite a lot of unknowns to be had then here in this qualifying session, and of course in the race to come as well then, as the drivers then taking to the track then for a bit of a feel then of F125 then. Some maybe a bit more advanced than others then so far in this game. Of course, it's only been out for a couple of weeks, No, it's been out for a week and a half, I think, hasn't it? Something like that. Yeah, we'll see then how the drivers then have been adapting then to the new handling models and the new adaptations then in the tyre strategies, then in the fuel strategies and the ERS management, everything like that as well then. So looking forward to seeing how it's all going to unfold in this race as well. It'll be a bit of a sighter then, hopefully, but maybe there's going to be some people who are not going to be too keen on that. But I think, like I said, just trying to get some track time then for these 20 drivers then who are now lining up on the grid. Then here comes Vessia, then they 29.5 then to set ourselves underway, but Gino has done 28.8 then. Good stuff indeed from Gino. Puts himself into P1 then as it stands. Then 14 minutes left of the testing qualifying session. Lewis Riley with a 28.9 then in the Ferrari. Very good stuff indeed as well. Then all time tumbling in. Then Menace Max coming through into sector 3. Then he has gone very purple in sector 2. So let's see what he can do then in the final sector of the lap as well. Then there's quite a few drivers then out on track. Then of course in this pre-season testing, every driver then who's participating is going to be racing, of course, in ALR at some point in some capacity, whichever division that is. Of course, there's a bit of a differing levels in pace as well then throughout the divisions. So that is why we will hopefully everyone will be very calm and collected then in this race. Then we'll have to wait and see then, but we'll have to find out. Then Equaz then crosses the line then to go P2. Then Menace Max then with 28.2 is up on pole position then in the Ferrari. Then good stuff indeed to set ourselves underway here in qualifying then as well. But there we are then. So yeah, this is going to be just an unofficial test, I should say then. So we've got I think Jay Hinch has jumped up the order there as well then in the Mercedes, then 29.3 for the Mercedes. Then Tori then out on track then in Aston Martin as well. Then we've got Dan then in the house, of course, the champion of bronze as well then. Fantastic stuff indeed then from Dan last season, and looking to do the same then in bronze, in silver this season as well then, hopefully. But we'll find out then what his pace is like then here tonight as well, potentially. So there we go then, good stuff indeed. Right then, we've got Duke coming through the final couple of corners then in the Williams, and let's see what Duke's going to be up to here in this qualifying session then for his first outing. And of course, like I said, it's an unofficial test, and a 28.3 then puts himself P3. Then Young Lights has done 28.3 as well then into the front row of the grid, I should say, then for Young Lights. Then very good stuff indeed. But like I said, a lot of adaptations and a lot of just feeling out the cars and the tracks. And of course, most of the drivers here tonight then are racing in their cars as well then, that they'll be starting the next season off in as well, which is fantastic stuff indeed. And of course, there's unfortunately only 2 cars, and so if there's 3 people from the Williams team, like there is tonight, to be fair, because Troy and Duke then in different divisions but also in the same car, I myself then have jumped into the comments box then to just talk us through this this sort of pre-season testing as well then. So looking good indeed so far then, as we go through then to start off another lap then for Menace Max, and all sorts of action out on track as well then, as the drivers then get used to the feel of the cars. And of course, like I said, well, I'm a bit behind because I haven't done any testing, to be fair, but we're looking forward to seeing how the racing is going to unfold here tonight then. And of course then in the new season as well then, I think, and we mentioned this in the driver draw as well then, I think there's going to be quite a lot of chopping and changing throughout this season in terms of drivers' positionings and who's going to be out on top and that sort of thing, because like I said, it's all a new game, isn't it? A new handling model, a new thing to learn then, and it's going to be who's learned it quickly, who's going to be taking it to the top then in the early stages. Then we might see drivers start to catch up then throughout the season then. The good news is that it's a 20-round season as well here, so or this season as well, because last season was 16 rounds just to get it done and out of the way then at the end of 2024. But as Troy goes fast with 27.9, that's fantastic. Troy could be back on form then, but I don't want to jinx that. Here's my teammate as well for gold, so that's looking promising indeed. But like I said, I don't want to get any ideas or get overexcited too quickly. More to a 28.0 then puts himself P2. Then here comes Jay Higgins as well, then looking to improve on 29.3 and has improved then to P11 then with a 29.1 this time. Good stuff indeed. Evening all from Rocket Lee as well. Then good evening to yourself, sir. Then of course after this session then we've got the race coming up, of course, 50% race around Bahrain then, and potentially depending on how tired I am then we might do some 5-lappers as well then. So if anybody wants to jump back in then, or jump in who is not already in the session then it's open to friends only as well then, so anybody who's on the friends list can jump on into the session for the 5-lappers afterwards as well then. I might want to do that as well then, but we'll find out. So there we go then, good stuff indeed then, as we go through the first half of qualifying, the first qualifying session then of the season as well then, although unofficially this is, because it's just a pre-season test really, but everyone then doing a good job then out on track then. Unfortunately for Sam Swift, Liam, Legend and Morano, they haven't got themselves out on track just yet then, but they haven't set a time just yet, I should say. But there we go then, Dan then of course the bronze champion, then back in the pit lane, then Sam Swift of course is the gold champion. Then who we got from silver? Unfortunately Flippy isn't in the session tonight then, but Flippy is the silver champion then, currently reigning of course then, after a fantastic season as well then. So yeah, will we see some chopping and changing in the order then? I'm not quite sure, then we'll find out as we go through the season, as I said, but I think there's some drivers then a bit more confident than others out there. Of course, there's a few drivers who've put more time in just so far, and of course, there's people like me who haven't played the game at all just yet, really, because I've done a bit of two-player career mode, and that's about it. So yeah, there we go then. So that's the order then as it stands then. Smithy then with a 30.6 and is the slowest of the time runners at the moment then, but he's not too far away, and we'll see what he can do then in the latter part of this session as well then. 9 minutes left of qualifying here. Sam Swift is back in the pit and same for Morano as well. But there we go then. Troy then currently on top with 27.9, and the only driver in the 27 so far in this session as well then. That's pretty good stuff indeed. But there we are then. So yeah, we want to find out what your thoughts are on the new game as it is so far. I know there's been one patch already, but I don't know exactly what it patched, to be honest. It was just a cosmetic patch, wasn't it? I think it wasn't anything important. But anyway, so that's that then. There's Young Lights locking up into turn 1 there as well then. But yeah, looking forward to the new season, of course, starting off then in Australia then on the 22nd of June then, so not too long to go I should say then. A week and a half or so then to the start of the gold season as well then, and of course silver and bronze follow that then in consecutive days. And I'm liking it, says Rocket Lee then, so that's promising stuff indeed. Of course Rocket Lee then looking to charge on in bronze like a rocket itself, but yeah, hopefully that will be the case. I'm supporting you all the way then, to be fair, and we'll see what you can do then in this season as well then. It's going to be well, like I said, a bit of a learning curve then in the first few rounds, I'd imagine, for everybody that is, but we'll find out then as the season progresses and everyone gets used to F125 then. I keep saying this because I'm not used to it at all just yet, but I think it's handling wise I think it's pretty good then. It's just the trying to get used to the dirty air and that sort of thing in race situations, that is, as well then. So we'll find out then. Evening, says Mushroom as well then. Evening nerds, he says in the comment section then. Evening to yourself then, Mushroom as well then. Rocket Lee's put a blue heart as well then. Fantastic stuff indeed. And evening to Mushroom too. So well done then, Mushroom. Then jumping into the comment section on a pre-season test as well then. The commitment to the cause is uncanny then from Mushroom then, as Young Lights then does get himself into the 27s as well then, into P2 with a 27.9 as well then. Evening to Rocket Lee as well then. Good stuff indeed then. Young Lights then up into the front row then. Both the racing balls, of course, these two are going to be are they racing in gold? I'm not quite sure. I can't Immortal is in the racing balls for sure. I can't remember what Equaz is in, to be fair, because it's all a learning curve then in this season. He's cut the corner a bit there. I don't think that's going to be a valid lap time, unfortunately, then. But yeah, so I think Equaz is in the racing ball because he couldn't choose his actual car. I think he's in the Red Bull, isn't he, actually, for gold then this season, is Equaz. So he's not too far away then. He's in the junior team then, or technically, well, is it the junior team is the other question. But there we are then. Hope everyone is doing well then, says Rocket. Ginger Rage will win 100%, says Serious Mushroom. Then that is a bold prediction there as well then. And wow, yeah, well, if that happens then I will have to eat something, I guess, or do something outrageous then for that then. But we can try and get him there. But yes, of course, that'd be fun. I'm actually racing at 100% this season, which is going to be fantastic, and I'm looking forward to that because, well, like I said, I haven't raced in 100% in ALR, that is, but I've been wanting to ever since we started doing it, to be fair. So finally then, on the 4th season of 100% and I think the 5th season of the Event League as well, then I'm finally getting myself in the seat then for the 100% League, which is great news for me. Not so much great news for those on track, and especially not great news for my teammate Lucas Percy then, who was going to be teaming up with me in the Kick Sauber then for the 100% League then. So yeah, there we are then. Unfortunately, that is the case for Lucas Percy then. He has been dealt the hand and he has to deal with it. But there we are. Good stuff. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing how the all divisions unfold, to be fair. I think it's going to be a very strong lineup then, especially for gold then. I have a feeling that I'm going to be lagging at the back then in gold as it stands then. So, yeah, we'll wait and see then. Dan then out on track, and then, of course, the bronze champion as well. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what Dan is going to be doing in silver, of course, then after winning bronze. Then Real Aston's retired then in the pit lane. He is done and dusted here in qualifying then for the Red Bull team. And there we go then. A Wild Alex will be on track with me, says Mushroom, then in the 100% that is as well. But yes, looking forward to that then. That will be very interesting stuff indeed then. And of course, we're looking forward to seeing how gold, silver and bronze unfold as well then, to be fair. Like I was saying then, it's going to be an interesting, well, it's going to be a very quick gold lineup indeed then, especially this season. From what we've seen so far, I believe then, there's going to be quite a handful then as well then in silver that I think are going to be top challengers then from the get-go as well then. The likes of Duke then is in this field as well tonight. Then he's going to be looking quite good, potentially the favourite already then for the silver title as well then. So that is looking very promising then for the Duke. But we'll have to wait and see then how it's going to unfold. And like I said, being a longer season, then we'll have a bit more time, I think, to doing 20 rounds this season. We'll have a bit more time for those to get used to the game then and catch up then in this season as well. Then with it being a 16-round season last season, I think that obviously if it was the same situation, then I think that it would have been a bit different there, where whoever got out in front early on then would lead the charge then. But potentially we might see some drivers then chopping and changing throughout this season in terms of the championship order as well then, which is going to be very good indeed. So there we go then, Smithy on track then, heading down towards the final couple of corners. Technically 2 corners this is, but there we go. We're talking about that a lot more then in round 4, I think it is, or round 5. I think it's round 4 then for bronze. Smithy then abandoning the lap time, then back into the pit lane then for the McLaren driver. Then everyone back in the pits as well then, apart from Bessia and Liam then, who are on their out laps here as well then. So good stuff indeed. But yeah, I think it's going to be, well, it's looking promising already this season. Let's just say that then, as we head out onto the track then for the Haas then of Liam D, and looking forward to seeing how it's going to unfold then. Not really played yet, says Mushroom. Only time trial for a day, then going to get me finger out then. Same as me then, Mushroom. I haven't even done time trial on most tracks, to be fair. I think I've done Netherlands reverse then. I've done that quite a bit for about half an hour. I don't know why. But yeah, so but I like the reverse tracks, to be fair, in general. I think they're quite good. Just for a bit of fun, that is, as well then. I'm not quite sure how they're going to fare in league racing. I think it was Silverstone in reverse that didn't look too good for league racing that I've seen YouTube videos on as well then so far already in this iteration of F1. But yeah, we'll find out then, of course, as we go through. Then of course the 100% league is going to be racing at those reverse tracks as well then throughout the 18 rounds then for the 100% season. Of course, like I said, we're starting a week later for 100% compared to gold, silver and bronze, and we're finishing a week earlier as well then, because they've only got 18 rounds then for the 100%. So yeah, it's going to be quite good then. Of course, there's a bit longer races in 100% as well then, so 18 rounds is still quite a long way then to go, as Liam then is struggling out of the hairpin there, looks like a bit there, but got himself back underway. Very nicely done indeed then. There's a fool there, that Ferrari then making sure he get out of the way. Of course, the deer as they've gone for a spin then for Liam, unfortunately, then on the exit of turn 10, and that is, oh dear, that's yes, we've got it under control. Good stuff. We'll let him crack on. There we go then, lots of outlaps there as well then. Everyone else on track now as well then, apart from Smithy and Sam Swift. Then Vessia is on a lap as well then, heading into turn 4. When's the first race then? I'm not quite sure, Mushroom, then. I'm really struggling with that. I really don't have a clue when the first race of the season could be then, as yes, I'm sure there must be a calendar somewhere in the Discord server. I really don't know. So, unfortunately, I'm just being a difficult person there, but yes, we've got the first race coming up then in just over a week's time now, on Sunday the 22nd, and is the start of the season for gold. For the first race for the 100% league, I believe it is the Wednesday the 2nd of July, which is not it might be in 2 weeks time or so. No, 3 weeks time potentially, I think, because we've got a week and a half then to go then, and yes, it's going to be sort of 3 weeks or so from now for the 100% league then, but there we are. So we'll get there eventually. But like I said, with an 18-round season, then for 100%, it's going to be 1 week after the start for the 3 divisions, then, and then the 1 week earlier, then of course for the finish as well. Then Vessia up into P9, then for the Alpine team, and matching his teammate very nicely there as well. Then Speed Kai then in P8 as well here. Then Smithy then is done and dusted in qualifying. We'll be going on to the race, and I think someone said 2 weeks in the Discord. Did they really? They might have done. So there we go then. Moranov then is back in the pit lane, and Moranov seems to be struggling then with his internet, which is not promising stuff indeed. Then Troyer then is on pole position with exactly the same time. I didn't notice this, but he's exactly the same time then as Immortal as well then. They're on laps as well then, so potentially that could change. Yeah, but currently Troyer and Immortal sharing the top spot then here in this qualifying session. Of course only one can get the top spot, but there we are then as we go into the final couple of corners then to end off the first qualifying session of the season, that is technically, but of course this is an unofficial pre-season test then, so yeah, we're only here because well, there wasn't enough space for me to race. So there we go then, but I'd rather do this, to be fair, then if everyone is going to be jumping into the lobbies then and getting themselves practice under their belts as well then, that is all good for me as well. And here comes Troy then. Can he take that pole position back away then from Immortal? Yes, he can then. Wow, fantastic stuff indeed then. Immortal and Troy then are looking pretty steamy indeed out there. Young Lights then P3, Nameless in P4, then Equaz P5, Duke in P6, Speed Kai in P7, Menace Max then in P8, then Jinna then P9, Vessia then is coming back into the pit lane, then P10, Dan then will be P11, then Lewis Riley then P12, Jay Hings P13, Legend in P14, Real Ashton P15, Tory then is P16, Smithy P17, Liam in P18, Sam Swift and Moranov didn't get a time on the board. And Young Lux has said that a 27-4 is criminal then. I can do a 24-7, so there we go then. I definitely can't, but, by the way, but there we go then. So looking forward to seeing how the race is going to unfold as well then. 29 laps of action to come then in this pre-season test then. There we go then. Thereabouts, says Equaz then. All good at the moment then, says Rocket Lee from Mushroom as well then. That is qualifying done and dusted. And that is that then, as we head into the Grand Prix in just a jiffy then. But yeah, it's going to be just a bit of a learning curve then, this one then. Of course, there's going to be differing levels of ability throughout this race as well then, so everyone needs to be very careful about what's going on track as well then. But there is reduced damage as well then, so that is just going to be the case then, of course, for... Oh dear, I've just touched me mic. But yeah, that's going to be the case then for that one. And of course, very quickly indeed then, what we'll do is we'll have a very short ad break, so I can get a breather and a bit of a drink quickly, because I'm already running out of breath then, and I've only just done a qualifying session, and I haven't even done it at full tilt either, to be fair. But getting back into the commentary side of things is going to be very difficult for me indeed as well then. But bear with us 2 seconds, we'll be back in just a jiffy. Wonderful stuff then. Even with the pre-season testing, I get to test out my technical abilities then of running an ad. But there we go then. Of course, if you've got any spare change then, feel free to buy yourself some ALR merch then for your summertime shenanigans, whatever you're getting up to. There's something there potentially then as well then. Goodness me, that got a bit too raunchy then. But there we go then. Of course, check out the 3D track prints and more updates coming on that one very soon as well then. But first off, we're going to get some racing underway then, I think, hopefully. We've had the beep, but we haven't got the action just yet. Then there we are. And out on track we go then for the first time then this season. Then we'll run through the situations out on track as well then in terms of the tyre strategies. Here we go then for the formation lap, of course, and getting ourselves warmed up then for the race itself as well then. I'm going sandbag, Swift, Troy A Beast, and then Lights then, says Mushroom as well then. So I think that's the predictions for tonight then, that is. Yeah, there we go then, we're looking good indeed then. Sam Swift then starting from the back of the field then, no time in qualifying then, of course. Like I said, it's all a bit of a pre-season test anyway, so it doesn't need to be at full tilt, I should say then, full kilt. I'm not going to check under there, but there we go then. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how it's going to unfold then in this Grand Prix then. And of course, like I said, it's all a bit of fun really, this one, just to get a feel of the game and different levels of ability throughout the field then, as it is only a pre-season test at the moment. So yeah, nothing too special, and we'll just have to wait and see then who's going to come out on top then. 2 stops then, and a 3-stop strategy then. It's going to be fantastic if it's going to be a 2-stop, I think. We did say, I think there was a couple of comments as well in the Discord as well then about the tyre wear situation then. A lot of people, I don't think, well, I'm not unfavourable to it then. I'm definitely of favour to it as well then. If it's going to generate a bit more of a strategic racing situation than 2 stops then in 50% races, that sort of thing, then I'm all for it, to be fair. It was always a bit more interesting, I think, when we had back in the old days when we had, I think it was Brazil and Mexico, were a 2-stop race then, and there was a hard compound tyre in sight then for those 2 races back on the older games. So I'm hoping that sort of thing comes back then in this game as well then. Of course, definitely with the tyre wear then, that would depend on your aggressiveness in your driving style as well then. So there's going to be a bit more, I think there's going to be a bit more element to your driving style then, to influencing your tyre strategy and that sort of thing in this situation of F1 25 then. So looking forward to seeing how it's going to fare. I just want a tyre wear, says I want to see tyre wear, says Mushroom then. Well, we can't. There is a way of doing that, I think, through if everyone turns on their telemetry. I think there's a way of doing that through the settings of the game, and that's been around for a couple of years now, I think. But yeah, it depends on whether it's reliable or not then. And there we are then. We've got an Alpine parked out of position, and well, we're just waiting. So this is good. There we are then. I think we're going to start off with some lights. Oh, yes, we are. 5 red lights coming on here then for the first race of the season, of course, the unofficial pre-season test. And away we go then for a good start then. It looks like the Racing Bull then has got a good start, and the Red Bull as well then of Young Lights then getting past Troy then, who struggle then off the line then as well. We go into turn 1 then, just keeping it clean, keeping it tasty or tasteful, I should say then as well. They're going through the first couple of quarters then, very nicely done indeed. Then it looks like in the background then a few drivers struggling there, and we've got an Aston Martin. No, it's a real Aston, I should say. There's a Red Bull and an Alpine. No, it has. Goodness me, I can't get the words out. Troy's had an issue as well then, going through turn 4, and yeah, a bit of struggles out there then on the circuit as well. There's an Alpine then trying to get himself through, then passing Troy, but Troy's on the hard compound tyre, which is why he might be struggling here. And of course those on the mediums and the softs around him then are going to be a bit quicker off the line compared to the Williams on the hard compound tyres. The same then for Immortal, who's not struggled too hard because he's still in P2 than is Immortal then. But there we go, down the inside. Wow, it's going to be dicey stuff indeed. There we are then, of course. Like I said, it's just the opening race of the season, then we're just getting ourselves underway then, and a bit of practice under our belts as well. In Australia, the possibility of a 1-stop can happen then if every other driver's turned on to show up on screen. Then I don't think it shows up on. Well, I think we can get it to show up on screen then from a different sort of client base, I think it is. But you'll need to everyone needs to do that, and then we can see the data, and then we have to somehow figure out a way of getting the data onto a stream. That is, but there we are. Never mind. We'll try that another time. There we go then. As we go through then on to the second lap then of this pre-season test as well then, and fantastic stuff indeed then. I'm just going to get that lowered a bit then, so hopefully that's all good. But yeah, Fantastic stuff indeed then, so far so good then as we go through then into lap 2. And yeah, I think Immortals then done a fantastic job then. We saw Troy then from pole position then struggle a bit then on the hard compound tyres on the start. Immortal then is on the hard compound as well. He's held position then in P2. Then let's have a look at the position changes as well actually first, because there's a few chopping and changes going on then. Dan then unfortunately had a bit of a problem then I think with Real Ashton. It looked like they're now out on track. Potentially there's some damage there. We'll have to wait and see. No, I don't think so. There might be a bit then on, yeah, so Real Ashton's lost the right end plate there, unfortunately, then for the Red Bull then, and has Dan Man got damage as well. Then Dan Man seems to be intact there, but I'm not quite sure what went on there, but a bit unfortunate then on the first lap. Then, like I said, I did tell everyone to take it easy then in this pre-season test, to be fair. Young Lights leads the way then. He's on medium compound tyres then. Mortal, of course, is on the hard compound tyres. His teammate of Equaz then, who, of course, is not his teammate then in the gold season that's starting off soon. He's in close proximity as well, and as is Menace Max in up 4 places then from Menace Max then. Fantastic stuff indeed. Speed Kai P5, then Vessia in P6, then looking good. Then Troy, of course, having a difficult start, then down to P7, but still within the queue to get himself back into contention here as well then. So there we are then, of course, like we were saying earlier as well, then the dirty air could be a bit of a factor then in this in these Grand Prix races then of F125. And we've got, well, like I said, following a train then is going to be quite difficult in some situations, especially in low speed corners. I believe it is trying to get that turn in, but it seems to have got itself through turn 1 then. So far so good then for the majority of the field. Very good stuff. Young Lights a 3-second penalty though going through the first few turns then of lap 3 then, which is going to be problematic. And same for Legend as well then, as we head into lap 3 now as well then. Sam Swift trying to get himself past Gino as well, going down the inside at turn 4 then. He's got the move, has he? Not quite. Then Gino trying to fight him still, but there we go then. Sam Swift, of course, the gold champion, and sneaking his way through. Then Gino, of course, promoted from bronze to silver as well then, as he goes through into sector 2 then. Well, Gino then did a good job then, did himself P3 in the end, then just fighting off Dynamo Dan then for that final podium place in the Drivers' Championship, which is brilliant stuff indeed then. Very good stuff indeed. Then out in front, Young Lights has broken DRS then to Immortal. Then Immortal's now under pressure from Menace Max then, who's got himself into P3. And there we go then, heading into sector 3 momentarily then on the 3rd lap of the Grand Prix as well then. Brilliant stuff indeed. So what's the best race of the calendar then? I'd have to say, of course, we've removed Monaco. I think removed Monaco, Singapore. Who else is it? China and somebody else as well then. So there's 4 tracks that have been removed. Of course, it's 24 race calendar in official F1. It seems to be 25, I think, almost. But yeah, so we had 4 tracks removed then from the ALR calendar this season then. To make it well, not a shorter season, but a shorter season than the official F1 calendar, that is. But of course, we'll make it a bit longer than the previous season on F1 24 as well. Then, so hopefully, like I said, that'll give a bit more of a play, a bit more of a challenge in the championship fights then for gold, silver, bronze, and of course the 100% as well. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, that is when it's backed up into P2, getting himself past Immortals on those hard compound tyres. Then it won't be too long before those hard compound tyres start to phase in then as the better tyre, I would imagine. So we'll have to just wait and see when that happens. Sam Swift up 8 places already then into P11. Not looking too shabby out there then in the kick Sauber. Then of course it's a much nicer livery now in the kick Sauber as well then, which is brilliant stuff to see. Then in P13, then Jay Hings right behind in P14 as we head into turn 10 now as well. Rana picks up a penalty as well, then 3 drivers then with a penalty then on lap 4 so far. Then China, damn it, says Mushroom. Then I think Mushroom got a win in China last season then in bronze. I believe that was the first win of the season, or first win of the bronze campaign, that was, I should say. Yeah, I can't remember back that far, to be fair, but you did a very good job then, regardless of where you finished in that race, I think. I seem to remember Mushroom doing well then. Moranov is not doing too well then with his interwebs, so that is the problem there. Here comes Jay Hings trying to dive down the inside. No, not quite. Then he stays behind then into the final corner. Then can he get himself lined up for a move then into turn 1 then? And Moranov then, we don't know where Moranov even is, to be honest, as we head down the main straight. And I think Gina then is going to be under pressure from both Mercedes as we go in towards turn 1 then. And down the inside goes Moranov then. We can't, like I said, we can't really tell where he is. So that's why the problem is there. And there's ghosting. There's a problem then for Duke. Then Duke's off the circuit there as well then. Goodness me. What's going on there for Duke? He's trying to get himself back on the circuit now. And of course, going off the circuit in this game then it's a bit more of an event than it is on previous games as well, then I believe. So the gravel traps and the dust and the sand, I think, in this game, in this Bahrain track, I should say. Then as Duke's got a bit of end plate damage as well there. Goodness me, what's happened then for Duke? I'm not quite sure what's happened there as well. I'm not quite sure where he was, to be fair, in the order before that happened. But there we go. Yes, I did win, says Mushroom. Then good stuff indeed. And well done then for Mushroom. Nameless passing Vessia then for P7 here. And Duke's got a penalty, unfortunately, to his name as well. Then on lap 5 here, it's not going too well. Then Moranov and Dan are battling as well. Then and Moranov's got past Dan then, but there's now a 2-second gap then. So I'm not quite sure what's happened there. But there we are. Then Real Ashton is ahead of Duke. Then Duke is unfortunately dropping down the field. Then he's got that end plate damage, and I thought a bit just fell off the car then as well for the Williams. Now unfortunately then for Duke, then not quite sure what happened to the Duke. Then into the first couple of corners. Then he's under pressure now from Liam D. As we go down towards sector 3 as well. Then Sam Swift has got Vessia in the pit lane. Vessia is calling it a day on soft compound tyres. Lewis Riley also in the pit lane. So 6 laps completed, and we've got some pit stops already here in Bahrain, and that's fantastic stuff indeed. I like that. So there we go then. Pit stop then for Lewis Riley, then hard compound tyres going on the Ferrari. Vessia is also in the pits then for some other tyres, and let's have a look and see what tyre has gone on to. Hard compounds as well for him. Then Duke's also in the pits and get that front wing sorted. Then Speed, Kai and Troy are in a fight then as well. Then Troy then up into P4. Then he's 2 seconds back then from the top 3 as it stands. But they're going to start to struggle, I think, on their softs and mediums respectively. Then Duke has retired in the pit lane, so unfortunately only made it 6 laps then for Duke. And our first retirement then of pre-season testing as well then. They didn't last long, says Mushroom. They didn't last long at all then. It was like they're out in front then. Young Lights defending from Menace Max then. Menace Max on the soft compound tyres, of course. Then Troy needs to try and reel in those top 3 as quickly as possible. The good thing is here for Troy, though, he's got a bit of clean air now as well, then, to try and punch a hole in that gap then and get himself into contention as well. Then, of course, on the hard compound tyres, he's going to be in contention anyway, I think, now that those tyres have kicked in then as well, then compared to the mediums and the softs. Then soft compound tyres especially, I think we'll be struggling, as we've already seen 2 drivers in Vessia and Lewis Riley then picked from the soft compound tyre then onto the hards, and away they've gone as well. Then there we go then out in front, 2 seconds then the gap between the top 3 and Troy then as it stands, as we head on to lap 7 of 29 then. Good stuff so far. Legends then also in the pit lane, same for Moranov as well then, and Dan and Smithy then. Goodness me, they're all piling into the pit lane here. Liam's going to go through then, very nicely done indeed then for Liam on the hard compound tyres. Guinness got a 3-second penalty then for his troubles as well. Then I think the problem with the penalties around here especially is going to be if that dirty air kicks in then at the wrong point of the corner, then you're going to be going off the track slightly and extending potentially, and that might give you a warning then. And of course 3 of those then equals a 3-second penalty and added to your race time, as we are very well aware of. Sam Swift has passed Nameless then for P7 now on those hard compound tyres as well then. So that's looking promising stuff indeed. Then Sam Swift then is looking pretty good as well. Then Nameless then holding on then in P8 for the time being as well. Then got some DRS then to keep him within the lead train. And we head on to sector 3 then of the 7th lap. Then we're flying through these laps, to be fair then. Of course, like I said, all of this is just a bit of a pre-season test to get ourselves used to the game then. Of course, everyone is of differing levels and abilities, I should say. Then, of course, we've got to get ourselves to the checkered flag then and use the data for our next race as well. Then, of course, this is the whole plan, I think. Well, it would be my plan, but I'm not sure whether the drivers are going to be taking it under their belts or not then that way. They might just be heading through. The Nameless is peeling into the pit lane. 7 laps completed. Oh dear, he's got a 10-second rate for speeding in the pits as well then, goodness me. 7 laps completed then on the medium compound tyres then, and already into the pits then, so that is looking brilliant stuff indeed from my point of view for a 2-stop strategy here. And that'll be absolutely fantastic then from my point of view. Immortals back up into P2, passing Menace Max, who's struggling on the soft compound tyres here. Then Sam Swift's up into P6, then passing Equaz. Equaz was battling in P4, P3, wasn't he, at the early stages of the Grand Prix then, but unfortunately dropping back now, so that's showing that the hard compound tyres have phased in nicely now to be the better tyre. Oh dear, Equaz then trying to keep the car under control, just about held it into the hairpin as well then. Brilliant stuff indeed then. Jay Hings and Ginner then and SG Tory then are all joined together now on the hard compound tyres then for the two behind. Medium compound tyres for Jay Hings then is holding on to that P8 position for the time being as well. Very good stuff. I want to race make crossplay. No, unfortunately, no chance. No, I think there's probably a chance of that coming as well then in the near future then, but for the time being then everyone has stocked up the grids then, so on PlayStation that is as well then, so yeah, there is no crossplay just yet then. Potentially then in the very near future, like I said as well then, of course, I don't believe there's going to be well, I don't believe there is many issues in the crossplay on this game then, although I haven't tested it. Menace Max then finally peeling off into the pits then for the Ferrari team. A very nice lock up then as well then, heading into the pit lane. And there we go then, Ferrari then. Dylan Dustin, who has done quite a big stint then compared to the rest of the drivers on the grid, I should say, then, who started on the soft compound tyres. He's out then in the on the hard compound now for the Ferrari team. Can he go to the end then? 20 laps or so. There's going to be quite a stint indeed. The Equaz also in the pits for the hard compound as well then. And coming out then in P10. It's going to be close indeed then actually for Equaz then. But Menace Max heads out in front then. Equaz then is going to be close indeed between himself and Nameless. And of course Liam as well then into turn 1. Oh wow. Oh dear, that's very close indeed then as we go through turn 2 now as well then. And Equaz has just about snuck himself ahead then into P11 then, just ahead of Liam. Then of course Liam yet to pit then in this Grand Prix so far. Duke has left the session, unfortunately. Duke then retired in the pit lane then on lap 4 I think it was, or 5 I think it was, unfortunately for Duke, sorry. And I bought a new PS5, the new season is still in the box then, says Mushroom then. Well, get it out of the box quickly then, because we're going to be starting racing in just a jiffy. It won't be too long then. Oh dear, there's contact then between Liam Vessier and Legend I think then as well then. And now Lewis Riley is stuck through as well then, heading into turn 10 then as we go late on the brakes then. And oh dear, that's going to be close indeed. Liam then is I think gone off the circuit quite a bit then, so hopefully he can get himself back on then momentarily. Yeah, there we are then. So yeah, that's a bit odd that is, but there we go. Not quite sure what's going on then for Liam. Then he seems to be struggling out there then on those hard compound tyres. Other hard starting to struggle on only lap 8 then. So the front wing's intact then, so that's not too bad. Young Lights then and Speed Kai also in the pits then. Young Lights from the Grand Prix is into the box then for the hard compound tyres now. And will they be able to get themselves to the end then? Jenner then carries on, of course, he's on the hard compound, same for SG Tory as well then. Where is Menace Max then, we want to ask, because Menace Max has done a bit of an undercut here then, hasn't he? And can he get himself into contention with Young Lights as well here then? Yes, he can then. Down, nope, he's not going to go for the move then, he's going to go for the switchback though. This could be a fantastic switchback indeed then, if he can pull it off then. Liam has retired and left the session as well then. Menace Max then up into P6 then, a fantastic switchback then into turn 1, coming out of the pit lane then from on Young Lights then as well then. But Young Lights of course has got fresher tyres then, and will once he gets them warmed up then we'll be in a good spot there as well. So that's 2 retirements in the pit lane, unfortunately for Duke and Liam. Dylan Dustin in this Grand Prix then. Like I said, it's a bit of pre-season testing, but if pre-season testing can go that way then for Duke and Liam, then unfortunately it's not looking promising then in the Grand Prix themselves as well then. But there we are. Nonetheless, what we've got to do then. No, I still have my old one on, and just in case it's getting on, so his mushrooms are then. Oh well, there we are then, that's alright. Good stuff indeed then. Like I said, quite very good stuff indeed so far on track as well then, and looking pretty good out there then for the majority of the field then still going in this race then. A few drivers then still are opting for the medium compound tyres then in the second stint, and I believe apart from the top 5 then everyone has made their stops here in this Grand Prix so far then, well, first stop that is at least, and potentially the top 5 maybe trying to eke out those hard compound tyres to make it a one stop then. But no, we've got pit stop action then for, who is it? I thought we had pit stop action. No, we don't. Never mind then. They completely duped me. I've been got. But there we go then. Fantastic stuff. Right then, Young Lights and Menace Max having a bit of a dice there as well then. Goodness me, what was going on then in the there we are then. Good luck all, have fun then, says Ginner as well in the comment section. Good stuff indeed. Right then, we'll crack on then for the next part of the race. Then we're into the second third of the race, the second sector then of the Grand Prix, of course. But like I said, it's this is more just a feeling out then of the cars. Then most of the drivers, I think, so Immortal's in his car for gold. Then same for Troy, Sam Swift. Then Gino, I think, is in the McLaren. I'm not quite sure. Tori's in the Aston Martin for silver. Then Menace Max is in the Ferrari. Then for gold. Then Young Lights, of course, is a reserve. Then Nameless is in the Aston Martin for gold as well. Then Speed Kite is a reserve. Then Equaz is in the Red Bull then for gold, of course. Then Lewis Riley's in the Ferrari then for silver. Vessia in the Alpine then for Vessia in the Alpine, sorry, for silver as well. Then Legend in the Kick Sauber for gold. Moranov then in the Mercedes. I'm not quite sure if that's correct or not, but Moranov then seems to be having a few issues out there on track. Jay Hings as well then in the Mercedes then for silver, who next season as well, then this new season coming, I should say. Then Dan then in the Haas then for silver as well. Smithy then in the McLaren for that's wrong. He's in the Ferrari then for bronze, that is. Real Ashton is in the Red Bull as well then for bronze as well. Then good stuff indeed. Then Tory then I think getting himself past Gina then into turn 1. Then Gina down to P5. Then Speed Kai and Nameless. Then oh dear, Nameless has gone to the back then of the Alpine. It's not pushed to pass then unfortunately then for Nameless. Gina and Tory then switching places as well then into turn 4 this time. And Gina trying to get the car under control then heading into sector 2 now as well then. Goodness me. But there we are then, so far so good then. And yeah, we're going to have a bit of a, like I said, a bit of chopping and changing then. We've got the weather to contend with as well then. Thankfully it's not raining here in Bahrain tonight then, but we do expect the weather conditions to play a bit of a factor then. What will the tyre wear situation be like then in the wet weather conditions as well? Then that's going to be another factor to try and contend with as well then when we get that far, that is. But we're not expecting any rain tonight then, I don't think, but well, we never know. But we did have, where was it last season? We had yeah, it was full wets in Qatar, didn't we? Then was it in silver or bronze? Then potentially, I can't remember now. It's too long ago then. But I think it was bronze, wasn't it, for the penultimate race of the season as well. Then and we had a full wet start to the race then, which is pretty much unheard of, wasn't it? I think then, at that stage. Then Troy in the pit lane. Then Sam Swift then up into P2. Then of course yet to pit then are the top 2 then. So Troy then calling it a day then on the hard compound tyres then onto lap 13 here, opting for the medium compound tyres next then. Will those mediums get to the end of the Grand Prix? I'm not quite sure they will, to be fair. We'll have to wait and see them. But yeah, so far so good then. Troy is going to come out in a bit of clean air then, I think, ahead of Speed Kai then, who's got his cuts across the pit exit then, so that's going to be a problem then for Troy. And I think he got away with that one there just about then. He's on medium compound tyres then. We'll be looking to go quickly then into the first stint. Then we've got all sorts of action then coming up behind Gina. Then we've got Young Lights, who of course has pitted 3 laps to go now. It's got much fresher tyres than the McLaren, than the Aston Martin of Tory as well. Then Menace Max is also in this fight here. Can he go down the inside? Yes, he can, and he's got the move done then on the Aston Martin as well, and very nicely done indeed. And powered up to P5 now as well. And here comes Young Lights. Think he's going to get himself past Gina then quickly enough then as we head into turn 10 now as well. Then riding on board then with the Red Bull car. Can he get himself past then into turn 11, then it's going to go side by side. It's going to be close and over the curb slightly as well. Then Jimmy has let him through, or has been squeezed out then, I think, then to let him through. Then they would go down the inside from Menace Max. I thought he was going to go sneaking down there as well. Then, my goodness me, it's just a pre-season race, guys. And down the inside, there's contact then between the McLaren and the Ferrari. Then, my goodness me, like I said, it's just a bit of a friendly on this one, guys. Watch out. But yeah, I think of course fresher tyres. Then we saw it in the beginning of last game as well, to be fair, then, but fresher tyres, especially in this game as well, then means so much more in terms of just the pace that you can have then unleash, I should say, then in this in the Grand Prix then throughout the race, then of course on the fresh tyres as well. And of course the negative of having fresh or having to get fresh tyres is that you have to make a pit stop, don't you? So that costs you a bit of time as well. So can you make up the time on the fresh tyres is the question. So far so good then out there for the majority of the field then, but still I think there's going to be a couple of drivers then looking for a one-stop strategy here as well then. So that is the likes of Immortal and Sam Swift, Gina then and Tori then as well, looking to try and get those hard compound tyres alive then for a few more laps then to potentially pit for the medium compound tyres. But yeah, we can see that the comparison then we will see at the end of the strategy and the race, I should say, what the strategy comparison is going to be like then between a 2-stop and potentially a 1-stop here as well then, which is fantastic. well, potentially it could be, well, you never know. Well, Mushroom has said the 2-stop then, says Mushroom then, but wait, oh dear, we don't know, to be fair, because, well, can Immortal, can Sam Swift then? Sam Swift started from the back of the field then, he's got himself up into P2 now, and isn't looking too shabby out there as well. He's gaining on Immortal as well out here, as here comes Troy then, trying to go around the outside then from the McLaren then into Sector 3, then he's got the move done on those fresh medium compound tyres, and like I was saying, the extra grip then from the fresh tyres, just comparability wise then to the old hards, then it is uncanny then as Troy steams past him, and it's going to catch up to Menace Max and Young Lights here as well then with the pace on those medium compounds. So yeah, we might see a combination, to be fair. It depends how quick you can be then on the 1-stop, that is. Troy then sets the fastest lap of the race, and of course in ALR, and that's going to be an extra point then in the Grand Prix, or sorry, at the result stage of the Grand Prix, that is. The point then for fastest lap then does carry over then for ALR this season, because I think it's a bit pointless that they got rid of it in actual F1 as well, to be honest. And the only reason they got rid of it is because Ricciardo went for the fastest lap in Singapore, didn't he, then to try and stop Norris getting it in the championship then against Red Bull there, but in the end that didn't matter at all. So it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit baffling, that, to be fair, but there we go. But there we are. That's that then. Troy then on these medium compound tyres has caught up then with Menace Max then, fantastic stuff indeed then. Of course he's on a softer compound compared to the Ferrari ahead of him. But we'll have to wait and see then what the strategy is going to be like then between the two of them as well then. Can the likes of Young Lights and Menace Max get to the end of the race from here? Then it's going to be quite a stint indeed, but potentially it could be done. We'll have to wait and see. We've got Tori then and Gina then. Here comes an Alpine then, a speed car then speeding down the inside then into turn 11. Very good stuff indeed. But there we are then. Smith and Mudge picked up a penalty, unfortunately for Smith. Then he is having a good time up there in the McLaren, I don't think, just at the moment. But there we go then. Troy then is looking to try and take the fight then to Menace Max then and to Young Lights as well here then. But of course the difference in tyre strategy means that Troy will probably have to get himself through then and get himself clear of these two as well then, if he wants to make another stop, that is, in this race. If we head onto the main straight now, then here comes Troy. Then he has gone past then with his extra pace. And up into P4 now as well, then heading into turn 1 then. Oh dear, the tyre smoke then from the lockup then from Young Lights there as we go through turns 1 and 2 now. But so far so good then for the drivers out there. 18 drivers still running in this qualifying session. Sorry, and no, we've not done the qualifying. We've done that already. In this race, I should say, then, as Moranov then is struggling out there for sure. So unfortunately, I'm going to have a problem then with Moranov. Then it's going to be like that then in the Grand Prix. But yes, we'll have to have a good chat with him on that one then. Moranov then, sorry, Smithy then into the pit lane then for the hard compound tyres. Then I'm not quite sure what Smithy started on this race, but he's gone from the mediums to the hards then, potentially in his final stop then. 13 laps on the hards is definitely doable. Then we've seen a few drivers then pit around lap 12, 13 on the hards that they started on in this race. But so far, those are the top two. Sam Swift and AC Immortal then are soldiering on out there. They've got a 13-second gap then to Young Lights. Then that is going to be quite interesting to see what the strategy is going to look like then in terms of the if they're doing the 1-stop. Then it looks like they are doing the 1-stop so far. But there we go then, heading on to lap 17 of 29. Tyre smoke even worse this game, says Mushroom. It looks like, I think, especially if you're not using ABS, then that is, it can cause a few issues. Then as Equaz has got himself up into P8 now, passing Tory. Then of course Equaz on much fresher tyres as well here. Young Lights has been passed by Troy, then in towards turn 1. Then the Williams now ahead into the first braking zone then of lap 17 then as well. Then we've got, where is it? We've got this battle going on between the Aston Martins then, of course, heading into the first turn. Stuff. Into the pits comes Lewis Riley and Moranov as well then, so they're both calling it a day then on their respective tyres. Well then Lewis has only done 11 laps on the hards then, and 10 laps from Moranov on the mediums. There we go. On to another set of hards then for both drivers as well then, and away they motor out of the pit lane. Now at P7 and passing Gina has got a 2-second gap then to Speed Kai then. Speed Kai is on a similar strategy, it looks like. The same as Menace Max then, who was 6 seconds clear then of the pair then as well. Then Menace Max is now caught up to Young Light, sorry, he was in the battle with Young Lights as well, but Troy then has got himself out of that DRS range then of the Red Bull, I believe. Nope, he just got himself back under then. I think DRS then was available for Young Lights then in that straight then, but can Troy try to get himself out of that 1-second window now? I think he can. So there we go. Yeah, it's looking pretty good then out there for the majority of the drivers as well. Then, of course, like I said, I keep saying it, but this is just a pre-season test. Then, just getting your eyes set in then as well. Then, for the start of the season. Then, in a week and a half's time, then AC Immortal has finally come into the pit lane. So there we are then for Immortal. Then he's calling it a day then on the hard compound tyres of medium compounds going on then for the Racing Bull, and he will come out ahead. No, he won't come out ahead then of Speakai. Then Speakai's going through. Then where will he come out then? Will he come out ahead of his teammate? It's going to be quite tight indeed then for Immortal and Equaz as we head into turn 1 then. Equaz looking for the switch back then on Immortal. Oh dear, look, he's all over the place there. Goodness me. No, I think Equaz then is he's right behind them. Immortal's on the medium compound tyre, so we'll get them warmed up quite quickly as well then. Heading into turn 4 then. Good stuff indeed. A fantastic helicopter shot then from the F1 game then here as we go through sector 2 now. And you'll watch both racing bulls then flying down the hill then into the hairpin here then for this fantastic pre-season event then, which is credit to all the drivers then. All 20 of them turned up as well, then putting on a show here tonight as well. So hopefully we can do some more of these then before the season starts as well. Then it depends on how many turn up. Then if there's only 4 turn up, then unfortunately I'm not going to commentate on that because I might be a bit bored. No, it's been absolutely fantastic. Then, of course, it's fantastic for me as well. Then to get a bit of practice in then for the real event. That is, of course, I'm not at full tilt then in comms mode just yet. Then, but I'm getting my voice warmed up then for the start of the season. Let's just put it that way. I'm coming out of hibernation. That is, there we are then. Jay Hings has picked up a penalty, I think, there as well. Then, unfortunately, from Mercedes there. As we head into the third sector, sorry, I should say, of the Grand Prix. Then, lap 19 has commenced. Into the pits comes Sam Swift as well. Then, finally calling it a day then on his hard compound tyres. 1 lap later than Immortal as well. Then, so Immortal might have got a 1 lap undercut here potentially. It's going to be quite close. Out of the pit lane, then Immortal is ahead then, he's dropped Equaz then massively in that lap as well, almost 2 seconds. And Jay Hings got a 10-second motor for speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunately for Jay Hings, and I think that might be him calling it a day then potentially. No, he's in the pit lane for a new set of boots then. Good stuff indeed. It's going to be hard compound tyres going on then, so he will definitely be able to get to the end of the race from there then. Those hard compound tyres then from here then should definitely get to the end of the Grand Prix without any issues then, I would imagine. Vessia and Legend are battling then into turn 4. And Legend then is coming up alongside then into sector 2. Then he's got himself through and up into P9 now as well. Then good stuff indeed. Then Tori and Jinner as well then having a battle into turn 4 further back in the order. But there we go then, fantastic stuff indeed. Then Troy is out in the lead then, but he's been reeled back in by Young Lights here as well then. Lewis Riley and Moranov are having a battle as well then. Troy, they got a push then, says Mushroom. Yes, of course, and I think he is pushing, to be fair. He's doing a good job then. He's just about, Young Lights is just about keeping him within that DRS range for the time being. Of course, Young Lights does have a penalty as well here then, and I think I would imagine that Troy's got to make a pit stop then in the near future as well here. But he's coming in the pit now, so he's only done 7 laps. He's got a 10-second motor speed in the pit lane. Goodness me, I've just jinxed him. So as Menace Max is coming in the pits as well then. My goodness me. Yes, we are looking. I think Mushroom, you might be right. It might be a 2-stop here, to be fair. Looks glitch free. Hope they don't mess with it. Oh dear, now look what we've done. Equaz also in the pits then. 10 seconds for him as well then. My goodness me, there's all sorts of 10-second penalties out there for the pit lane then. So Rocket League says don't jinx it, which is very correct then. You don't want to do that. There we are then. Sam Swift then is all over the back of Immortal then. Of course, these two have got a 1-stop so far then in this Grand Prix. Then, of course, starting from the hard compound tyres then to the mediums now for these two to go to the end of the Grand Prix. Then can they get themselves with? They've got 8 seconds to try and catch Young Lights. Then can Young Lights keep the gap then over 3 seconds then to these two? Of course, with his penalty in mind as well then. But we'll have to find out then. To be fair, like I said, I think usually I'll say this now, but. Yes, my bad, says Mushroom. But usually there's a lot more people complaining about the situation of the game than at the start of a new F1 series, and I think in terms of complaining, it's been very, very minor, I think, at this stage of the game, I should say, which I'm hopeful is promising. Yeah, there's obviously going to be some minor changes to be made, of course, and I think they've already done that in a small patch as well for some things. So far so good, touch wood, and yes, we'll play it by ear. But so far, like I said, fantastic race so far then, and of course fantastic game so far then as well then, as here comes the Sam Swift Ninja, of course the reigning champion and the 3-time champion, consecutive champion as well then, in gold as well then. Of course that's over 2 different games as well then. Can he take it? Can he take another championship then, his 4th championship then, on to F125 then? We'll have to wait and see then, but it's looking pretty good indeed then. He's got himself up into P2, and then that's almost a net P1 then, with the penalty then for Young Lights then, only 3 seconds for Young Lights then. Troy is on the hard compound tyres then, he is in P4, and motoring along as well then. Max then 1.6 seconds behind then on medium compound tyres, might get him into contention for that P4 position. We'll have to wait and see, but there we are then. Like I said, a lot of penalties out there as well for the pit lane entries then, but of course the drivers are just going to be brushing up on their skills then for this game, so like I said, that won't matter of course in pre-season testing, will it? But we'll just have to play it by ear then, how it's going to unfold then in the races themselves as well then. I agree, says Rocket Lee as well. The pens are glitched then, or they just bad then. Like I said, it's all adapting to the game. But yes, like I said, it will take some time then, of course, as everyone needs to get used to the game at different rates, and of course some people are quicker at adapting than others as well then. The best thing you can do, Mushroom, is get the game yourself then and race it. That's all I can say. I can't talk really, to be fair, because I've got the game and I haven't raced it either, so there we are then. As we head into turn 5 then, Nameless of course on much fresher medium compound tyres, then trying to get himself past Jay Hings. And into the pits comes Young Lights from the race lead then. He is calling it a day then on the hard compound tyres, onto a set of medium compound tyres he goes, and away he goes as well then. But I think Menace Max and Troy will be able to sneak past then before he gets out of the pit lane here. And there they are then in the right hand side then. Young Lights coming out of the pit lane now, will not be too far behind, to be fair. But Menace Max then is 1 or 2 seconds ahead of the Rebel driver then. Of course, fresher tyres for Young Lights now to the end of the Grand Prix. Lap 22 of 29 has commenced then. The top 2 then have of course have done a 1-stop here. We'll have a look at the stop situation, shall we? There we are then. So we've got a 1-stop then for the 2 kick Saubers then, and for Immortal. Young Lights has got a 3-second penalty there as well then, my goodness me. But we've got a 1-stop for Gino as well then, and for Tori, who are in a bit of a battle then between the 2 of them then, alongside Equaz then, who of course has done a 2-stop as well then. Everybody else has done a 2-stop out there as well, which is there we go. Quite good stuff indeed. There's me told, says Mushroom then. Well, if I could tell you to do something, then I would be I don't know what I would be. But yeah, anyway, Jay Hings have picked up a penalty as well. Then, like I said, there's quite a lot of penalties out there tonight, but of course it means nothing. We've got 18 positions gained by Sam Swift. Then, of course, he started without a lap time then in qualifying, and has got himself to the top spot then as it stands. But Immortal then will be looking to fight that as well then. Troy and Menace Max then fighting for the final podium place as it stands as well. Young Lights might have something to say about that too. Speed Kai has joined Legend then for the fight for P6 as well here as we go down towards the penultimate couple of corners then. Speed Kai going for a move down the inside then on the kick Sauber. Has he got the move done then? Has he got DRS is the other question as well there. But yes, he does as well. Good time indeed then on that overtake then. Troy and Menace Max having a bit of a fight as well then, heading into the first couple of corners then. Troy down to P4. But there you go then, fighting back then as we head into lap 23 of 29 now. Good stuff indeed. F125, even more smoke when brakes locked then. I think, well, to be fair, you remember back in F124, I believe it was, when everyone started complaining about the tyre smoke, they patched it and they made it worse. So yeah, you complain about tyre smoke at your peril, because if you want them to patch it, they'll patch it and they'll make it even worse than what it currently is, then it looks like. But I think they did do another patch then afterwards quite quickly, and they'd reduce it again. But yes, so yeah, it's very odd that the tyre smoke, like I said, it's well, the only time you really see tyre smoke, well, I'd say real life, is when they're locking up then under braking, and I think that is what it's trying to emulate then, is the locking up under braking, especially for those who are running no ABS. That makes sense. Which technically you're meant to be doing if you're racing Formula 1 cars, obviously. But yeah, so it's an odd one, that, to be fair. But like I said, obviously in terms of visibility, even when they lock up in real life F1, I don't think it's this much of a problem. It's just putting that to the car behind them. But yeah, that's the way it is. But yeah, so like I was saying, same for all the people complaining about the AI level and all that sort of stuff. Then be careful what you wish for, because if they patch it, they will probably break something else. So it's ifs and buts, really, in my opinion. Because I remember when it was F122, wasn't it? The handling was fantastic, or not fantastic, but it was good at the beginning of the game. Then people complained about the AI, and the problem they've got is if they need to reprogram the AI for a different handling model, they have to go through every track. And I heard this, somebody was telling me about it. They have to go through every track then and literally remap and reprogram the AI movements and that sort of thing for every track. So, and that's why you see obviously the AI doing a similar sort of thing over and over again in every career mode race, which is why I don't play career mode. But the point is that they F122, for example, the handling was all right then, and everyone complained about the AI being too fast or too slow, whatever it was, and they said, okay, we'll fix that. And to do that, they had to change the handling model. So everyone complaining about the F122 at the beginning, handling was all right, AI was too fast or too slow, whichever one it was. People complained about the AI, they patched it and made the handling absolutely appalling. So yeah, that's what I have to say. Just be careful what you wish for when you start asking Codemasters for patches. But there we are. Smithy's got a 3-second hold then. Lap 25, then almost at the end of the Grand Prix here. Then I've been nattering on for a long time as well then. But there we are. So fantastic stuff indeed then. Stephen said, yeah, you can use the smoke against the driver behind just before a corner. Well, to be fair, the majority of you know what you're doing into any corner anyway, so if you're a bit blind, then it's alright. Legends had an issue then. No, he's not had an issue. He's just been passed by Equaz and Gina into turn 1 then. There's contact as well then, it looks like behind, but everyone's got themselves through unscathed, just about. Yeah, heading on to lap 25 then for all drivers now as well. Then heading into turn 4 then, there is, oh dear, what is that then? Equaz then looking to dive down the inside. No, it's Tory diving down the inside on the medium compound tyres. Legend's done 18 laps on his hard compound tyres, so I think might be struggling on those hards. Maybe doing a bit more, I think more of what Legend was looking for is a bit more of a testing phase. But the dirty air, I think that's cost him there into sector 2. Let's just say that as well then. Moranov is now just lagging all over the place in terms of the leaderboard. He's doing a George Russell then, and oh dear, we got Vestia going through him then as well. Unfortunately for Moranov, then he's going to have to sort that out then, and quickly indeed. Then evening, Lisa says Stephen. Then hope you're doing well then as well. Then says Rocket Lee, of course. Well, all three. Mushroom Stephen and Rocket Lee then will be taken to the bronze group then in a couple of weeks' time now. Literally a couple of weeks' time actually from today. It's Tuesday, isn't it? So yes, it will be the 24th of June then for bronze, then 2 weeks' time then. So that is looking pretty good indeed then for her bronze. And we'll see how it's going to unfold then. Lap 26 now of 29. 4 laps to go here in Bahrain. Then of course I'm going to have a break unfortunately then, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do the 5 lappers afterwards, but of course the lobby will still be open then for those who want to carry on. Yes, I'm not carrying on then after this. Then I am getting a bit knackered, and I haven't even been like I said, I haven't been commentating at full pelt just yet, but there we go. So, but it's nice to see the drivers getting out on track then, and like I said, I'm more than happy to host the sessions then. If we got a full grid, then we're more than happy to host the sessions, and of course to put on the pre-season testing show, of course that is. Everyone's done a fantastic job back there as well. Then so far this race as well. Then like I said, a lot of drivers are differing, not differing abilities. There is differing abilities out there as well, then for sure. But a lot of drivers just trying to adapt them to the game as well. Then some have got more time on the game than others, and that'll be the situation then as we go into the season as well, for sure. Then, but like I said, it's all a bit of a testing phase, I suppose you could say, and a bit of practice then as well. Yeah, so far so good then out there as well. We've got Immortal then trying to mount a charge then on the race leader then of Sound Swift Ninja. Heading into turn 1 onto lap 27 then, 3 laps to go then in Bahrain. I'm already in bed, says Rocket Lee then, so good stuff. Right then, I'm in the bath then with what? With my laptop. Is that safe then? Probably not safe, no. It might be. Is it safe? Not, I think it's probably just not safe. It's just not safe. There we go. I was going to say, is it safe without the? If you haven't got it plugged in, is it safe? But it's probably not then, because you've probably got some sort of electronic stuff wherever along then in the laptop itself. My technical brain is absolutely fantastic, as you can tell. I just about know how to figure out how to turn on the PlayStation and play a couple of games of F1 or COD or whatever it is. But there we go then. Heading into lap 27 then, into lap 28 momentarily as well, to be fair. We've got Immortal trying to mount a charge then on Sam Swift Ninja then in the next few laps or so then. It's only unsafe if you drop it, says Rocket Lee. Well, don't drop. It's like the toaster, isn't it? Then, of course, then. So don't drop the toaster in the bath, then. And there we go. Problem solved. There's Lewis is all over the place as well now, so that's not promising stuff indeed then for either Lewis or Morano. But we don't know where they are now on track, to be fair. So that is horrible stuff indeed for those who are around them. Jay Hughes is not too far away. Moranov and Nameless are having a battle then into turn 10 as well. They're around the outside for Nameless then, fantastic. He's got the move then for P11 now and trying to chase down Legend for the final points paying place then into lap 28 we go. But ultimate lap of the Grand Prix then, Immortal is getting closer. But he's not quite getting himself through. Then he's got a 3-second penalty then for his troubles then going over turn 2 then, unfortunately. Then I think that's going to be costly indeed, because that is going to be leaving Sam Swift then in quite good control then of this Grand Prix as well then, as I think everyone's lagging out there, so potentially it's just me, which isn't a problem if it's me, because that's fine. But yeah, hopefully everyone else connection-wise is a-okay then. Heading into turn 4 though, Young Lights and Sirius Troye, not Sirius Troye, Troye, are battling as well then into sector 2. Then Young Lights sneaks ahead then on the medium compound tyres, but Troye then I think might be lining up as Moranov has left the session then, I think finally then for some, because his internet was absolutely horrible then throughout this race then, unfortunately then, so he needs to get that fixed quickly, because otherwise he will not be racing in silver this season for very long then as well. Then Jay Hings has passed Lewis Riley as well there as they head through in towards turn 4 now as well. Then Sirius Troy has a ring to it then, and yes, I just had Sirius Mushroom on the mind, to be fair then, so I was dreaming about Mushroom earlier. There we go then, Nameless has passed Moranov's ghost car. And there we go then, down to 17 then. Out in front then, wow, Sam Swift has stormed off then onto lap 29, the final lap of the Grand Prix here as well then. Goodness me, and Immortal has got DRS just about then as we head down towards turn 1 then, but yes, not much battery left to play with, I think, for either driver, to be fair. Into turn 1 we go. Although Sam Swift's got a bit more battery than in his kick Sauber, which is looking much nicer than the previous livery of the kick Sauber, I should say. Heading into turn 1, there's a 3-way battle for the final podium place here, and my goodness me, it's getting very tight indeed. Then we head into, albeit as Troy's got a penalty as well and going over the curve, then same as Immortal did on the previous lap actually, but heading in towards turn 4, and what's going to happen here then? Here comes Young Lights trying to go around the outside then of the Ferrari of Menace Max, and 2 laps younger tyres then for Young Lights and his Red Bull then, but Menace Max holds the position for the time being. That is very good stuff indeed. Well, I do run the fan club, says Mushroom as well, and good stuff indeed as well. Yes, well, there we are. Yes, so far so good. Like I said, fantastic opening race then for the season, and like I said, all sorts of different levels and all sorts of things going on out on track as well. Then Lewis Riley then still these two having their connection battle, it looks like, as we go through into turn 4. Down the inside, Vessi looking to shape for the move, but I'm not quite sure if he's going to get himself through then into sector 2. Wow, that is internet issues, let's just say that then. Hopefully it's not a connection problem then for those drivers who've had their issues then tonight then, but like I said, it's maybe just myself and on my internet's probably playing up instead. Sam Swift does win the race then, fantastic stuff indeed from Sam Swift as well then, from 18th I think it was on the field then to the win there here in Bahrain, fantastic stuff indeed then. Immortal crosses the line then in P2 with his penalty as well then, won't make a difference then to Immortal's finishing place as well then. Young Lights then crosses the line, Jay Hings has crashed somewhere. Young Lights in P3, Max in P4, then Troy in P5. There we go. Fantastic. Troy down to P6 then with Speed Car up to P5 then. Good stuff from him. GG Jules, a nice insight to the game then, says Serious Mushroom then. GG's to all then who have got themselves to the checkered flag, I should say, as well here. But that'll be it then very soon then for the first pre-season test. Then potentially we'll do some more of these as well then. It might just be a one and done then, depending on how many people we get then for the future sessions as well then. But we have got that's it, almost complete then for this first outing, and that'll be that then for the Bahrain Grand Prix test session. But yeah, fantastic stuff indeed. And well done indeed then to those who managed to get themselves to the checkered flag. Then unfortunately a few others didn't get so far, but there we go. Well done indeed then to those who made it to the line. Then we'll have a quick look through the classifications in a jiffy there. But Sam is just lucky. Then I'm in bronze, says Mushroom. Well, I think everyone's lucky you're in bronze then, Mushroom, because you are going to be absolutely flying on this game, I'd imagine. But there we go. Well done indeed then to those who crossed the line then, waiting for Real Ashton to get himself to the line then. Unfortunately he's not going to cross the line then, so I'll just leave, but there we go. Fantastic stuff indeed there. But well done then to everyone who's joined us as well then in the comment section as well then. Fantastic stuff to have you with us as well then for the pre-season test then, which we don't officially do. Well, we don't really do that at all, to be fair, but there we go then. And there is the classification. And wow, fastest lap, driver of the day, blah, 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 all of that then has good stuff indeed. And there is the classification as well then for the Bahrain pre-season test race. Well done indeed then to those who have competed and taken part then. And we will, of course, see you in a jiffy in, where will we see you next? Well, we'll see you hopefully then. We'll see you hopefully then, in the next few days or so then, potentially with some more pre-season races then. Of course, the gold season starts then on the 22nd of June then on Sunday, the 23rd for silver then as well then, and 24th for bronze then. The 100% league starts on the 2nd of July. So we'll see you very soon with some more ALR action. If it's not pre-season, it'll be the start of the